Hey guys, so I've been doing GRE prep for over 10 years, and I've learned a lot about the GRE prep landscape out there, and I want to give you my thoughts on how it all works. Pretty simple. We're going to rank prep courses from most to least full of shit. And I use those terms because I think you guys should know that some of the companies out there really are full of shit. And by full of shit, I mean that they care way more about profits than your success. And I'll explain why. And I'm going to give you a fact to kind of set the stage here. If you wanted to license one official GRE, one ETS official GRE question, how much do you think that would cost you if you were, say, making a video course, writing a book? One question is $450 to license. So this is why GRE prep companies do not license questions for the most part. They write their own. And for that reason, they are kind of shortchanging you because you're much better off practicing with official material. So at the top of the shit pile here, we have companies like Kaplan and the Princeton Review, and pretty much any big brand name company that might be in a bookstore. You might see their stuff on Amazon. And the reason that I hate these companies, and I really do, because they basically pretend ETS material doesn't exist. If they do reference it, they'll mention it maybe on one page of their book. They probably won't even ever mention it on their website. So they pretend ETS doesn't exist. And like I said, if they were going to license questions, it would cost them $450 per question. They can write their own questions for way less than that. The problem is that those Kaplan questions or Princeton Review questions are really unrealistic compared to the real GRE. We really just don't want to use them. And the advice these companies give you isn't awful, but it's just pretty mediocre. Usually kind of doesn't really go into depth. They're really kind of coasting off their brand names because almost everybody has heard of these companies. So just avoid like the plague big brand name GRE prep companies if you're looking for a GRE prep course. Now a little farther down is going to be companies like Magoosh. Magoosh is probably the most famous one. Magoosh GRE, it's a video course. And Magoosh, in its study plans, I do have to kind of give it credit. They do recommend ETS in their study plans. So why do I still say they're kind of full of shit? Full might be the wrong word here. Partially. Let's say partially. And the reason I dislike Magoosh a lot is that they pretend that their questions are worth your time. They pretend their questions are good and their questions are not good. In fact, they're super unrealistic. And we don't want to use them. The only third-party company I ever recommend is Manhattan 5-pound. And Manhattan is the name of a GRE prep company. I recommend the 5-pound book for quant only because it lets you get repetition. Do, say 20 probability questions in a row if you want to. But overall, the same problem is true of Magoosh as is true of Kaplan and the Princeton Review. Their questions aren't good. Their saving grace is at least they do recommend ETS. And the thing that I don't like about that, the thing that really annoys me about their recommendation though, is they recommend there's like, well, pay whatever, $150 and get our entire plan. But then on top of that, the student is going to realize, oh shit, I have to buy all these ETS books too. And you know what? A lot of people won't buy the books because they're like, I thought I'm just going to use all the Magoosh questions instead. Because I figured I was getting like a complete package. That's how they make it seem. And in fact, it is not. You do need the ETS books. So it's just kind of sneaky. Magoosh definitely cares more about you buying. They care more about their profits than they do about your success, even though I'm sure, they would like you to succeed, but not at the expense of their profits. Now, at the bottom of the stack here, in terms of least full of shit, and I'm going to say not full of shit at all. Not full of shit at all are going to be small operators. And one of them I want to highlight here I'm not going to toot my own horn. I'm going to highlight Greg Matt. So if you haven't heard of Greg Matt, you should. And Greg Matt is one of the good guys. He has an almost completely free. He has so many videos on YouTube. They all, for the most part, use ETS questions. He's not really trying to sell you anything. He does have one thing I think that's for sale, but it's like a live course, and it's $5 a month. $5 a month, which is like almost nothing. And if you don't want to pay $5 a month, fine. But almost all of his stuff is for free. So just a night and day difference. The thing I really like about Greg Matt is his technique is very robust. In fact, his technique is better than any company above. And he really does care about your success, and you can kind of tell because he's not trying to push anything on you to buy. He only uses ETS material. And I think he's coming from a place of genuine caring that you succeed. So I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of my perspective. This is not a super comprehensive perspective on the entire industry, but just some things that I think about when I think about these companies out there. So go ahead and check out Greg Matt if you haven't already. I think you're going to like what you find.